it's just that I've started cheating on it, and do you know what? I don't feel that guilty about it. And if you cheat, you should feel guilty. I think we should probably start off with, why did I buy my Leica in the first place? Why did I buy it? And then we'll get on to why I'm selling it. So, what did I own before my Leica? I owned a Canon 1DX Mark II. So, the jump from Canon 1DX Mark II to a Leica is quite a massive jump. I went from having all the bells and whistles you could ever imagine in a camera to a camera that doesn't even have autofocus. And the reason I sold the 1DX Mark II was mainly down to weight, to be honest with you. It weighed so much, and I went on a trip to the Isle of Skye in Scotland, and that pretty much finished me off, to be honest. Lugging around the 1DX Mark II, I had a 70 to 200mm, I had a 100 to 400mm, and I had a 16 to 40mm as well. Just carrying them 3 lenses in the 1DX Mark II and just a small bottle of water was the end of me. I realised as well with the 1DX Mark II, I wasn't using all the features on it. It's a camera that is absolutely cram-packed full of features, and I was barely using anything. Something else I didn't like about the 1DX Mark II was the way it made me approach photography. It made me walk around and just fire shots at everything, and not really think anything through. And I noticed that when I was coming home, looking at my photos, seeing that I'd taken, I don't know, 2,000 photos in a day, and then maybe keeping 5. It kind of proved the point that I was spending no time actually thinking about what I was taking, and just that'll do. Sometimes I'd come home and realise I'd taken like 30 pictures of exactly the same thing, and I'd look at them and think, why on earth have I done that? So that made me want to move to something else, and the main thing I wanted to do was slow down, and the Leica definitely helped me do that. Just with the fact that you have to actually think about what you're composing through the rangefinder, you have to focus yourself. Simple things like that really slowed me down, and I went from taking 2,000 photos in a day to taking more like 100 or so, and that really helped my photography. It's hard to explain, but taking less photos but more good ones, I really saw the benefits in it, especially when I got home. I wasn't trawling through loads and loads of photos in Lightroom and thinking, what on earth did I take photos of these for? Instead, I was coming home to 100 or so photos, of which maybe I liked 50 of them. And the Leica is really good. It's really good for just general photography, and that's kind of why I fell in love with it originally. So I've been using a 35 Summerit with it, and I've been using it for just about everything. Up until recently though, because I have started to cheat on my Leica, and I'm going to explain why, and why this is now up for sale. A camera that I've loved so dearly for the last year, and now it is quite literally up for sale as we speak, and I don't feel that guilty about it, and that kind of makes me feel bad because I have really enjoyed using this camera, but I think it's going to make sense why, but let's move on to the first camera that I've bought that's ticked most of the boxes of the Leica, but in a way that I prefer. So the first camera is this. This is a Mamiya 7. It is a beast of a camera. It's kind of like the 1DX in terms of size, and I am conscious of that. So this doesn't come with me everywhere. This only really comes with me when I know I'm going to purposely be going out to take photos, and it shoots medium format film. So this is a medium format analog camera. It shoots 120 film, and it shoots in the 6x7 format. So the negatives that this produces are huge. And to give you an idea, a one roll of film, you get 10 shots on it. A roll of film in the UK costs anywhere from say £8 to £20. So if we go in at the low end, it costs nearly £1 a shot. If we compare that to how I was treating the 1DX, I'd spend £1 a day, and that's only for actually taking the shots. So you still got to come home and process them. And I process all my own images, so from black and white to colour, I process them all from start to finish, and scan them in. So I kind of keep costs down that end, but you can't help but think every time you press the button, that was £1. That was £1. And the fact this is a rangefinder as well, so this works exactly the same way as a Leica. You look through the rangefinder, you line up a little patch in there, and take the shot. Because I really enjoy shooting with a rangefinder, so this has completely got me covered. From slowing down and taking my time with photography, completely got me covered. And from a really good glass point of view as well, Mamiya produces some amazing glass. I've also got myself covered, and the quality you can get from these cameras is insane. Obviously there's restrictions with how you can shoot film and whatnot, but this camera has completely replaced my Leica in terms of slowing down and really thinking about my photography. Now, another camera that has also taken away some of the need for my Leica is this tiny little thing. So this is a Rollei 35. It's a German-made camera that came out in 1968. So this camera is over 50 years old, and I like to think to myself that this has had a really good life and seen some amazing things, but who knows, it may have just sat in a desk all its life. But I've really started to enjoy using this. It's a really simple camera. It shoots 35mm film, fits in your trouser pocket, fits in a jacket pocket, and I've just been using it for sort of out and about photography, where photography isn't the main reason I'm out. It's like when I'm out with friends that I take this with me and I just casually take photos. It's more of a, like I'd say, it's more of a memory capturing device than a camera, and I really enjoy using it. And the reason loads of people love these cameras is it actually has a Zeiss lens. It has a 40mm f3.5 Zeiss Tessa lens, and it's really, really good. You wouldn't know looking at some of the negatives how old the camera was that took them. Some old cameras you can kind of tell they're all a little bit murky and whatnot, but genuinely you wouldn't know unless I told you that the film was being shot on a 50-year-old camera. This camera was built in a time where things were built to last. They weren't built to get you to the next model so that you could buy again. And I think that's a real testament to the fact that this thing still works. The light meter is still pretty accurate, and it's 50 years old now. So the other camera that has also taken away some of my need for the Leica is the X-T2 that I'm recording this on. So the Leica's really good, but there's one massive thing that really annoys me with the Leica, is that for night photography you cannot turn off the noise reduction photo that it takes straight after a long exposure. So when you're out trying to take a photo of the night sky and I don't know, you go for like a 30-second exposure, it takes another 30-second photo straight afterwards and applies noise reduction. So you end up with really long streaky stars. Either that or you have to cut your shutter speed and then you don't actually get the photos that you want. So for photography where I guess it's not the norm or there's something that I'd like to try out, the Leica's often not the answer, and I found myself at times just wanting a camera that had lots of features, and the X-T2 has been that. The X-T2 also has really good video capabilities. The Leica does do video, but none of the lenses autofocus. It doesn't have autofocus, so you just kind of have to set the aperture and try and stay in it, don't move forwards and backwards. So that is why I'm selling my Leica. The need for my Leica has been completely replaced. If I want to slow down and take my time with photography, I use the Mamiya. If I want to just slip a camera into my pocket, then I use the Rollei 35. And if I want to do some proper photography or I want to try out some different things, then the Fuji X-T2 is just the camera. So I've had this for a year, but for the last couple months I've really not used it. I have officially been cheating on my Leica, and I do feel bad. And these cameras still sell for sort of £2,000, so I should kind of get the exact same amount of money I spent on it back, and I can spend that on something else then. I could buy another couple Fuji lenses, or I could spend a day treating my Mamiya a bit like I used to my 1DX and just take 1,000 photos in a day. But yeah, that is the reason I'm selling my Leica. It's up on Gumtree as we speak. If you've got any questions and anything you want to ask me about any of the 4 cameras that we've just discussed, then let me know in the comments. I'll be able to answer any of your questions that you want to know about any of these cameras. And yeah. Thank you for watching. If you like the video, drop it a like. If you want to see more of these sort of things, then definitely subscribe. So we're going to be doing more tutorials, so done one on focus stacking, but there's going to be plenty more of them. I want to do some more just general talking about things in the news with photography, and things along them lines. If there's anything you want to know about any of what you've seen today, just drop a comment and I'll get back to you.